Yo, what's poppin', y'all? You already know it's your brother Front. I'm back at it with another P5X video. And in today's video, I've actually been trying to do some more Guild Boss and SOS type content for the channel. So what better way than to kick things off than by tackling arguably the most controversial boss to date for Guild Boss specifically. Not controversial for the sake of any necessary drama per se, but well, I think you know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm of course talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Johnson himself, aka Mara. And if you don't know why I just called him Mr. Johnson, do me a favor and stay pure because we need more people like you in this world. All jokes aside, this boss has actually been giving people quite a bit of trouble when it comes to actually finding ways to kind of go about tackling it, just for the sake of, or because of, the fact that it's more of an AoE physical type situation, which when I was doing some research and just bouncing around different communities for the game to figure out how other people were trying to go about handling this boss, it seems like the developers, for whatever reason, released this boss around a time that was quite literally a rotation earlier than it should have been, because supposedly soon in the 2.1 update we should be getting a persona known as Yoshitsune. And if you don't know who Yoshitsune is, from what I understand, it's basically the persona that makes DPS Wonder actually become a viable strategy and not just something that people would do for the sake of either trying to have fun in the game or trying to just, be jokey or memey. But having said that, of course I did, as you guys can see by the title of the video, did spoil it a little bit, but we are going to try to take on this boss with DPS Wonder as opposed to the usual way we run Wonder, which is as a support type character. So this should be actually pretty interesting. Do take notice though that even on Nightmare difficulty, the difficulty bonus for this stage is only at level 4 for actually both the bosses this time around. Actually look at Cert as well, they're both at 4, so they shouldn't really be too challenging this time around to actually tackle. And as you can see, I haven't even done an attempt yet, so this is going to be my first time trying to see how this rotation actually goes down. So the way we're going to be doing this with the team setup, we of course got Wonder, making sure he's going last, so we're going to use him as the main DPS. We got Soy, acting as our main source of sustainability, and also he does have his skill 2, which is a physical move that can not only apply defense down, but also just be an extra source of some weakness damage if we want to, min-max our score a little bit more. Then of course we have our main 2 buffers, Cord and Leon, just bumping everything they have into Wonder so we can get them to do as much damage as possible. Then of course the brand new Rico, get some defense down on the enemies, as well as some buffs on our own party members. And now for the actual persona themselves, it really doesn't matter too much who you run for the setup as long as Wonder's going last. But the only real mandatory one for this setup in particular, since we don't have Yoshitsune yet, is this guy right here called Satanta. The reason being, his move Spirit Binding is a AoE physical damage move, and for each debuff that's on the foe, it can increase damage by 12%, stacking up to 3 times. And if foes are sleeping, it can be counted as 3 debuffs instead of just 1, but we're not going to be running any type of sleeping move. So actually you guys can see the setup I'm running right now. I literally did not do any type of inheriting or changing around of this guy's skills. I did actually swap out, I believe he had his sleep move in here, Dormina, and I changed it for Divine Grace so we can get a little bit of extra healing from Soy himself. And the main thing you really want to worry about when building your team comp with your personas is just not having Satanta as the first slot, because we actually go back on him. He is weak to psychokinesis damage, and the boss at the start of the fight, all the enemies will go before you, and the boss itself will do a psychic move. And so you shouldn't really have any problem, again like I said, because the difficulty bonus, we shouldn't really worry about dying necessarily, but just want to cover all our bases and make sure we're not giving them any extra chances to potentially wipe us out, because again like I said, this is my first time running it, so I do want to try to be as careful as possible but try to get a half decent score. And then for the dagger, we are going to run the Palace 1 dagger, Send Knight Inferno. To my knowledge, it seems like it's going to be the better one to go for instead of Ex Machina if we're trying to do just solely DPS on Wonder, because he gets a bigger attack bonus, and of course since we have, or actually I might have to change out one of my personas in a second, but for each persona of a different attribute equipped, it increased damage by 12% more, stacking up to 3 times. So let's actually get rid of What's Komakuten? Yeah, let's get rid of Komakuten because we do want to have at least a different element. And we'll really just throw in anyone. It really doesn't matter who, because we're probably just going to be using Satanta for the entire fight, most likely. So we'll just put in Succubus, because we're probably not going to use her for our other team on Cert. And then yeah, so that's the team setup. That's the persona setup as well as the daggers. So let's go ahead and start the fight and see how this goes. Again, first time. Not necessarily nervous per se, but we got to see how things go. Starts off with a physical move, or not physical, psychokinesis. Yeah, these guys do basically no damage, even on Nightmare, so we should have really no problem surviving this fight at all. Again, ultimately it comes down to your units' investments. If even on Nightmare, you feel like you're still getting knocked around a lot, you might have to do a different rotation than what I'm going to be doing. Actually might change audio levels here so we can, yeah, at least turn down the sound effects and the voices a bit so it's not too loud. So alright, starting off, let's go ahead, do our usual rotation here of doing skill 2 on Leon for Wonder. Get that going. For Cord, we're gonna go ahead and do her skill 2 on Wonder. Get that attack buff going. As for Shun, we could go for the smash hit, but we also could do his gun move as well. I think I'm actually gonna save this gun skill towards the end of the fight. A lot of people forget that you can actually use his gun skill to apply AoE defense downs on the enemy, assuming that you actually, of course, land them. But now at this point in the fight, we have our first highlight available. We're probably just going to go straight with Hordes. Buff our damage a bit. So then Wonder can do Satanta, Spirit Binding. It's the first move. Not bad damage. A little under 100k. Eat those hits like it's nothing. Should be fine here. And again, based on how the fight goes, you might not want to completely copy my rotation down to a science, just because, for example, if you feel like you need more healing at any given point, then use Shun's skill 3, so you make sure your team is healthy. And then we have Rico available. We'll do skill 1 on everybody, get that going, get the defense down. Leon's turn, we're going to do skill 3 ultimate booster on Wonder. Let's keep amping his damage even more. So far, not so bad. Do we want to use the skill 3? Here's the question. Yeah, why not? So we go use skill 3 for Wonder, get his highlight going, see how much damage this can crank out. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. And for Shun, don't really need to heal at all, so we'll just go for smash hit on a different enemy this time, so we can apply it on as many enemies as possible. Now we have our next highlight, and I think it just makes the most sense to do Wonders yet again. Just keep going with the physical damage. And then, yeah, I think we just keep doing this the whole time. I'm not gonna lie. This fight is really simple so far. Even though this is my first time, we're clearly not taking any damage really, so we can play a lot riskier. Let's see how it pans out for us. I mean, realistically, as long as they target Soy for the most part, we should have no problem really surviving this fight. So actually now, we're getting pretty low, so we actually might use his skill 3 this rotation. You're not... I was about to get boned. Alright, so now we got Rico back. We're gonna skill 3 this time around, and we'll use that on Leon since he's the lowest. So we can get that HP back. Decent looking decent. Same thing over and over. Skill 2 Leon on Wonder. Now here, we do still have one turn left of Unison Notes on Wonder, so we don't need to use it yet. So we'll actually just do Distortion, and it shouldn't really matter on who we use it on, really. Didn't land the shock, but that's okay. Rico comes in, uses her skill 2 automatically. Love to see it. And then here, like I said, we're going to use skill 3 this time around so we can actually survive. And then Wonder, of course, same thing, like usual, just use Spirit Binding. Damage is honestly not looking too bad here, I'm not going to lie. And then personally for me, I'm not really someone who tries to go out of their way to get like top 1% every single guild boss in SOS because I'm a light spender, so one that's not reasonable to begin with, but also because I don't know, I like being competitive, but not uber competitive, because again, I do have to play inside of my means here. I can't really just expect to get top 1% when I'm not getting all the latest and greatest new characters. But now we have our highlight back yet again, and we're definitely going to use skill 2 from Core this round for sure, because Unison Note should be gone from Wonder by this point. Yeah, we don't have it anymore, so we could wait to do someone else's highlight, but I think we're just gonna rip Leon's here, just to get some extra healing on Wonder, so we can just keep him healthy. Chord, skill 2. Get that going. Shun. Probably just go for the smash hit on this guy this time around. It doesn't matter who you use skill 2 on, as long as it's not someone who already has, of course, the defense down already, so you can just spread it out as much as possible. Wonder, yet again, Spirit Binding. Damage still pretty decent. Since this is my first run, I'm actually very curious to see how I do score-wise. Again, I'm not really looking for anything super crazy, but I feel like we can do pretty decent. Now let's make sure they actually keep going for Shun here, because if they go for Wonder at all, I might be cooked. That's my GOAT, man. Look at that, bro. One of the best 4-stars in the game. Got Rico back. Should be on our skill 1 turn here, so we will do that. And then Leon is going to do skill 3. Chord. We do have our skill 3 back, so we could just rip. Not even could, we actually just should. Oh no, he's knocked down, so we can't use it. No, that's alright. Well, because of that, in the meantime, I guess we will skill 1 instead. Because we don't really want to, well, I mean, do we really care that much? Because we're not gonna, I don't know. I really don't know. So we could use it on Shun if we just wanted to get a little bit extra healing, but again, I'm not really worried about dying here, because we do get to use Icy Defense on Shun next turn. So you know what? Screw it. We're on limit test. Skill 1 here. Got shocked down. Shun. Going to Icy Defense here. This actually will be perfect, because then the final turn we can use this gun skill to hopefully apply defense down on all the enemies. And then I think we're going to wait to actually use Chord's highlight here. I mean, damn, that sucks that he got knocked down. Well, we can't really wait, because we do get one more turn after this, but I don't even think Wonder's going to have his highlight ready in time, so we might just pop it now, to be honest. I mean, it does last for 4 turns. It will at least go all the way until Core's next turn, so we can use her skill 3 on Wonder and be straight. Assuming we don't get knocked down again. So we'll try that out and see what happens. And again, damage is pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually doing a lot better than I thought I would. And the main reason why I didn't want to do a run beforehand, just because I honestly just like surprising myself with stuff like this and just kind of going for it and seeing how my thought process goes about it in the moment rather than having it all laid out. Because, okay, can we not get cooked here? We got Rico back. Do the skill 3. Do not get knocked down with Wonder, so thank God. Give me a little bit of healing, even though it shouldn't matter at this point in the fight. And then here, I think we're just going to skill 3 again with Leon because it's the last turn, so we're not going to really be able to get an opportunity to do skill 2 into skill 3. Horde, skill 3 on Wonder. You know what? Let's go, man. I feel pretty good about this run. Get that off. 85k. Not bad, not bad. Shun. I did say let's use this gun skill this time, so let's see how easily we can land these defense downs here. There's one. Missing quite a bit, jeez. Okay. My mouse just ended up firing all his bullets, but it didn't even matter because we literally just could not proc any defense downs besides one. So, and I was right, we do not get a chance to use... Well, actually, that's a complete lie. Could do Succubus as a highlight. Okay, hold on. We cooking? Damage increase. You know what? Now I'm glad I did bring Succubus here. Originally was not going to use anyone else's moves, but that actually came in clutch because we could not use Satanta's highlight this time around because of the way the rotations worked out. So, yep, that's going to do it for the fight. Get our last Spirit Binding down. Should end right after that, yep. And then let's see what the score's looking like. 8.7 mil, you know, not too shabby. Again, that was the first try, not really trying too hard to go absolutely crazy. I mean, still 7%, not bad overall. But that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. Nice, quick, simple one. Again, I don't know why the developers decided to put this fight out for this current rotation when we should apparently be getting Yoshitsune in the next update. I don't know why they didn't just push this back, but who knows, maybe we'll get Mara again for the next rotation of guild bosses. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But other than that, would I recommend you guys to run this strat? I'd say yeah, because I feel like it's really not that big of a reason not to, especially since Satanta is a lower rank persona, so his max level is already pretty dang low. I mean, yeah, I already used him, so it's gonna be way down here, but as you can see, max level 40 because he's rank 3, so you're really not putting in too much investment in terms of your resources into getting him built up. And again, like I said, I literally have nothing that he doesn't already have on him. I didn't give him any new skills or a new passive or anything like that, so I think for the time being, since we're obviously not going to get Yoshitsune before this fight goes away, I'd say it'd be worth experimenting, trying out Satanta to see if you like it or not. And if not, I mean, for me now, that I have to take on Cert with pretty much a leftover team. We're going to see how that goes, but like I said, it's going to do it for today's video. If you like, leave a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel for some more P5X content in the future. It's been your boy Frona, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out, y'all.